over the past week or so, I've been focusing most of my attention on this Mpox outbreak that is going on across the world right now, trying to make sure that they don't pull a fast one on us like they did a few years ago, because even though they're not talking about it much in America, it's a big deal in the rest of the world. And they're already rolling out jabs and you name it. So I think it's important. I think it's important to keep an eye on that. But as that is unfolding, there's actually a different type of outbreak going on in America. Up in like Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, there's an outbreak of EEE, which is a virus spread by mosquitoes. And I didn't even know this was happening, but apparently deer have been getting sick, horses have been getting sick, and now people are getting sick. And it's like right when I find out that this is a problem, they're already taking things to the next level. They've already put in curfews in certain towns telling people, hey, you can't leave your house after this hour because there's too many mosquitoes outside. So yeah, folks, they're actually using mosquitoes as an excuse to kind of lock people down in a way, or to limit where people go and how long people can be outside. It's really wild when you think about it. You know, like, I live in the South. I could not imagine my mayor coming out and saying, hey, you can't leave the house after 5 o'clock today because of all the gnats, all of the mosquitoes. So it's concerning for me because I'm surrounded by mosquitoes where I live. Folks, there's more mosquitoes here than anywhere. But yeah, they're literally locking towns down, closing entire towns down, canceling events, canceling high school football games, you name it, telling people, hey, you know, after a certain hour, that's when the mosquitoes come out, and that's when your ass has to be inside. Let's go ahead and roll this clip and find out a little bit more about what's going on.
News from Oxford. Officials at a Board of Health meeting have approved a recommendation to issue a 6 p.m. curfew to keep residents safe from high levels of EEE. People at that meeting not happy.
Please don't do this to our kids.
800 people signed a petition.
Do you have so if we can have
Officials approving the recommendation say they aren't banning people from going outside, but instead putting safety measures in place. They suggest the 6 p.m. curfew lasts until September 30th, and starting October 1st, the curfew will shift to 5 p.m. and last until the very first frost. Oxford is one of 4 towns at critical risk for EEE right now. Douglas, Sutton, and Webster are also listed as critical in the state. People who attended the meeting believe the move will hurt after-school activities, including sports.
We have probably well over 150 people that are here to stand up for their kids, to make the parents, you know, have their own decision, makes their decisions.
Last week, an Oxford man in his 80s tested positive for EEE, the first such case since 2020. We spoke with the Department of Public Health on what people should do if they live in an area with high risk levels of EEE.
In areas of high and critical risk, we really want people to be thoughtful about when they time their outdoor activities. Mosquito activity, feeding activity really peaks at dusk and dawn.
And you can see the latest state map to see the risk level in your community. We have it posted on the more.
This is a slippery, slippery slope, folks. On one hand, obviously, I don't want anyone getting sick or losing their life. And I don't think you all do either, right? So on one hand, you know, I think we all understand the need for like public safety. But on the other hand, I don't think that it's okay for the government to be able to use things like mosquitoes as a reason to lock you in your homes, or as a reason to tell you, hey, you can't operate your business between these hours, or you can't leave your house between these hours. You can't go out and exercise. You can't do this. You can't do that because of the mosquitoes. Now, even though this may be a real situation, it may be dangerous, and maybe it is best for people to stay inside, you can't allow things like this to happen. Because if they can use mosquitoes as an excuse, what else can they use as an excuse? And who are you to tell them any differently? Are you going to go catch a mosquito and dissect it and try to figure out the truth about what's going on? No, most of us aren't experts when it comes to this stuff. So when they tell us on the news, hey, you need to lock down because of this crazy virus being spread by mosquitoes, a lot of people don't know what to do. They don't know how to react to that. Because how can you really prove that this is fake or false or prove that this isn't necessary? You know, in many ways, at least in the beginning stages of things like this, you can't. But I do find this scary. And I'm not scared really about the mosquitoes spreading the virus. I'm scared about the government being able to use things like this as a way to limit our freedoms. It's just wild when you really think about it. All of you have been bitten by a mosquito before, or a gnat, or a bug. But can you imagine wanting, let's say it's 5 o'clock and you and your husband or you and your wife want to go out to eat dinner, but you can't because of, the big bag mosquitoes outside, you got to lock down. I think this is like I said, it's a slippery slope. We are headed into some really interesting times because if things like this are going to be used to take away people's freedoms and to force people into compliance, then who knows what can be used next. But for now, I want you all to use that comment section down below. Let me know how you feel about this. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.